I ordered this when Microsoft announced it. This is the new Surface Studio, and it's an all-in-one Microsoft's first desktop computer, which is kind of, when you think about it, you think of Microsoft. They've been around so long.
Forever.
Their first desktop computer, and it's a pretty amazing computer. By the way, I should do what I just did again, because to me, this is better than fingerprint or watch. Watch this. I'm going to lift it. Now, you do have to lift it up.
It looks super easy, though.
The camera can see me. I turn it on, and it says, making sure it's, oh, hi, Leo, and it logged me in.
So can I do a Leo printout?
Can you see that over my shoulder? Come on over here, Alex. Let me do that again. No, we tried it, because they were trying to log in, and it didn't work.
Fake Leo.
Okay, now watch. So the computer's off. This is the camera. It's a they call it a hello camera.
Okay.
And it's more than just a regular camera. It also does kind of like the Connected on the Xbox.
Like
it does a
infrared
Z and it does infrared. So let me do it again. Now watch, because it's pretty quick. Getting ready, looking for you. Make sure it's you. Hi, I'm logged in.
So inside is building a virtual Leo. Authorized.
So this is a ridiculously priced computer. It starts at $3,000. There's models going all the way up to $4,000. This is the base model, $3,000. And you see the computers in here. So really effectively, this is a laptop computer.
It's like a Mac Mini with a display on top of it.
Exactly. It's not, you know, because the Macintosh, they put the guts in the screen. Here, the screen is just the screen, although iFixit did a teardown, and there's an ARM processor in here, and I'll talk about what I think that's for. On the back, it's got 4 USB ports, the old Type A ports, but they're USB.
Is that good for you or bad?
3.0.
People complain about USB-C and USB-A.
You know, I would love to see one USB-C.
Okay.
What Microsoft says is they designed this 3 years ago.
Okay.
And so this is that's not an excuse to me. You're selling it this year, not in 2013.
Yeah.
But I guess that's one of the reasons for a design
They
that
did make the
looks a little
screen.
antiquated.
They did fix the black and white screen, but they,
Yeah,
they
right,
didn't fix
right.
the ports.
It has an Ethernet jack, another kind of anomalous.
I don't know what those are.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know idea.
Gigabit Ethernet. This is the power cable, the only wire that you have to have. And then this is mini DisplayPort, and we're using that for the second display coming out.
What's that big gap at the back?
This thing?
Yeah.
You know, at first I thought,
slot?
that's what I thought. I thought it was a Kensington security slot. No, it's an SD card reader.
I don't know what that is anymore either.
Well, what? And finally, oh my God, a headphone jack.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So that's what you get. It's kind of a laptop computer inside an i5, 8 gigabytes of RAM. I tell you, the biggest disappointment to me is it's a 1 terabyte drive, but it's a 5,400 RPM spinning drive. It's a hybrid, though. That's an Intel specification with a 64 gig SSD that speeds it up a little bit, but not a lot.
So it's like a small cache.
It also has a mobile NVIDIA graphics processor.
It's like a laptop, right? It's like a laptop mounted with a big display.
That's basically what it is. What you're paying for is this. This is the display, 28 inches. It's a 4,500 by 3,000. That's a 4K display. And then this is the thing I really like.
That hinge.
And this arm is really well designed. You can position it at any angle all the way down to 20 degrees, which makes this kind of like a drafting table.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what makes this most interesting. They're aiming at the creative crowd.
The color looks fantastic.
It's a P3.
Yeah, wide color gamut.
Wide color gamut, although you have sRGB available as well. It has the pen, the same pen that Microsoft ships with the Surface Pro and the Surface Book. It is, it's kind of fun pen because it has, in fact, I can show you, I'll show it off right now. It has a eraser on the top you can click. Single click for me, I've set it up to open OneNote. Double click will allow me to draw on the screen, which is kind of wild. You can,
like Monday Night Football.
Yeah, you can telestrate. Shall I get a,
if you want to hit the owl in the eye, you got to have 2 defenders.
You got to go like this, and then you go, wow, yeah.
And he's out.
And so that's kind of fun. And it's, by the way, a very responsive pen. There's no lag appreciable, although I'd love you to try it because you're a graphic artist, and I'm curious what you think.
So my fear is that Microsoft's previous tablets have been like Wacom, where there's a little bit of an air gap, you see a little reticule, it's not quite,
Yeah, I don't know. You probably is, and I'm not sensitive to it, but it's probably not as good as Apple's Pencil and iPad Pro.
Your brain is wonderful at adapting to things.
It also, and I love this, and I think this, I wish they did this on the iPad, it's magnetized up here, so I could just put the pen here, or on the other side.
They'd invented magnets in time.
They invented magnets, thank God. This is the thing that's really weird. Now, when they sold me this, it was a special offer, and now it has ended. It was through December 1st. They threw in the $100 dial, they call it. And the dial's interesting. It can sit on the screen. If I press and hold it, I can actually use the screen to set what the dial does. In this case, there's not a whole lot it can do. It's either set the volume or make it brighter.
If you put it on the owl's eye, does it change the eye color?
That would be kind of cool,
No.
wouldn't it? But no.
So I was actually scared because you put it on earlier and it started to slide.
sliding.
And
In fact,
a
it's
friend
sliding
of mine
very
went to the Microsoft store, put it down, and it slid off, fell on the floor, and broke. And they said it wasn't the first one.
Okay, well, don't do that then. It does have kind of sticky-ish material, but you don't want to have a sucker.
No, and you've got like oily fingers all over the
Well,
screen,
that's
just
the
making
problem.
a ski ramp.
The bottom comes off very easily. It's just a magnet, and it has 2 AAA batteries, and it pairs via Bluetooth. But what is cool is if you have software, and there isn't a whole lot yet, but if you have software that understands this, you can do different things depending, very much like the Apple Touch Bar.
And you said you could put it on, then take it off, and remember where you were, so you didn't have to sort of leave.
That's
it
right.
if you want to.
Yeah, that's right. What they I'll use Sketchable, which is one of the few programs that understands it. What they anticipate, and by the way, the Touch is great.
We were playing with big maps
I can
forever
do all of
on
this. Yeah, I mean, it really is a I got to use 2 fingers if I want to move it. But okay, so I drew on this drawing. Let's see what I can do to undo it. So I'm going to now put it on there, and I'm going to choose, oh, by the way, it's set for a righty, so normally I have it set for a lefty. I'm going to make the dial be undo, and once it's undo, now I can undo or redo the stuff I've done to this drawing.
Really useful, Ilya, or is it more of a gimmick at this point?
You know, you'd have to ask an artist, and I'd have to ask, you're a graphic designer, I know, and we're going to bring an artist in here in just a second and ask her, but I think the premise is that you would be drawing with one hand, and as you're drawing, you could do other things. By the way, I could pick a palette on this, I could pick zoom, so you can have different things you could do, and you'd be doing that with your left hand while you're drawing with your right hand.
I only asked because I use Procreate on the iPad Pro, and you can use twist. I think it's actually paper. You use 2 fingers to twist to undo.
Yeah.
I just want the button.
Yeah.
Like it's a cool gimmick, but then after a few minutes, I just want the button.
Yeah, well, and I say the same thing, frankly, about oh, look, I'm completely, there's even a little...
Oh, it's replaying it. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I say the same thing about the Mac Touch Bar. A lot of times these new UIs, maybe they're gimmicky, maybe we just haven't played with them long enough, but the jury's still out, if you ask me, and I'm not the guy for this. However, I have to say I've been using it on the show, and I really love this. I feel like this is a very natural way to interact with your screen. I'm not so much for drawing. Let me close Sketchable out, but even for things like browsing, the ability to open up. Let's open up a new screen.
You're running it in desktop mode, not tablet mode.
Yeah, people who watch me use this say, "Oh, you should really run it in tablet mode. It's easy enough to put it in tablet mode." I think tablet mode is really not Microsoft's finest hour.
Because I could see you carry this into a Starbucks, put it down, and play Candy Crush.
Yeah, but you can do that in or desktop or tablet. It doesn't really matter, and it's easy enough to switch. I just happen to like desktop mode. I like having the start bar down here, and a normal start bar, not the one that takes over the whole screen and all of that.
And the tap targets, you can hit them?
Yeah, and even in tablet mode, by the way, unless the program is designed for tablet mode. Notice I'm in Chrome. I'm in tablet mode. I still have the tiny Chrome.
Yeah, Google
touch
does not know
targets.
from tablet
Right.
mode.
I'll tell you what though. I'll launch Lightroom because Lightroom does have a tablet mode. Let me see. There it is. I don't like this big screen. It's really kind of cool though. I mean, I can scroll around. I can zoom in on a website. I'm in Chrome here. I can play with it. It's
like Minority Report.
Yeah, I really love the natural way of interacting with it. Here's our Christmas card, and if I go into, so this is normal Lightroom. If I tap here, now I'm in the touch mode Lightroom, which is very much like Lightroom for the tablet. It puts the controls down at the bottom. It's not how I'm used to working with Lightroom, but I could. I mean, the fact that I can zoom in, but you see it's a little bit slow. Now, I don't know if this is because Lightroom isn't tuned for this,
i5.
or that the i5 plus 8 gigs of RAM and the slow hard drive, but
or the GPU.
It could be a lot of things, So I'm not convinced that the low end, the basic model, is going to be enough horsepower for people who are real professionals.
The ones that are really tuned for the computer, that are writing to the metal, have phenomenal performance, and like things like Chrome kind of just sit there and suck battery.
Yeah, Chrome is notorious for that. I'll tell you, all in all, it's overpriced. It's underpowered, and it's still the most exciting computer I've used in years.
So you're
I mean,
saying it's pretty much an Apple.
Yeah, yeah, it's like Apple, and it is in a way Microsoft's version of Apple hardware. You know, we're going to do something for a small market, the creative market, and we're going to just make it perfect for them, and it's going to cost an awful lot of money.
What happened? We flipped. Apple used to make these computers for small little niches. Yeah, and then IBM was everywhere, and now we have Apple everywhere and niche computers from Microsoft. It's the darkest timeline.
Yeah, is this? They're saying my display is too dark. I'll show you. It's very easy to increase the brightness of this by just adjusting this up here. So you can just tell me when it's. We don't like the display to be too bright. How's that owl look now? Oh! So, you know, you will use it like a normal computer in an all-in-one configuration. You might tilt it down if you want to. It doesn't go all the way flat. It goes down to 20 degrees. Microsoft says that's because we don't want people to put their coffee cups on here. But this is like a drafting table. And in fact, here's a nice little touch. If I move the keyboard right up against the base of this then folds down around it. It doesn't. It's smart enough.
So is it like up high for office and then down low for art? So it's sort of like all business up high and a party down low?
It's the mullet of personal computers. Yeah, business on the top and party on the back. No, I think this is really aimed at a creative professional who's going to be using touch. And I'll have to say the one takeaway from this for me, with regards to Apple, is Apple has said all along nobody wants touch on a desktop, and I think in this configuration they're probably right. This is not natural to reach your arm out and touch, but when it's down in the drafting board configuration,
it's a big iPad. It's magnificent.
It is just like a 28-inch iPad, and it is natural, and touch does come naturally, and you really do want to touch, and there's something very intimate. Even things like in our chat room, there's a degree of direct connect exactly that is unlike any other, and the ability to kind of move around.
He's highlighting you, chat room. You are being highlighted.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It's supposed to scroll. In fact, I think
like this way more. I spent years on a Cintiq, and this already impresses me way more than any Cintiq ever
Cintiq
did.
is Wacom's. It's very expensive, as expensive as this touch screen that you would then hook up to a computer. And that's one thing I would love to see Microsoft do, and they said we are not going to do this. It seems to me that the real strength of this is this screen. And if they were to get rid of this kind of low-powered CPU and let me buy this as a screen, even at a $2,500 screen that I then attach to a super powerful computer, that would be a more compelling purchase for the creative professional.
Most people buy laptops now. The desktop market is dwindling, and if you had your awesome laptop, you took it with you, but when you're home, you have this display or your studio.
You dock it to this.
Jim Lee could be using this.
Yeah.